One wrong click can ripple through an entire election. Here's how attackers exploit that web. You walk into a polling place expecting a simple, private act, but a single ballot connects to a chain of databases, devices, printers, and people. That web is where technical flaws and human mistakes meet. Attackers don't need miracles. They need a gap. So where do they start, and what does that mean for your vote? Elections are irresistible. High stakes and fragile systems make for tempting targets. Change one close race and you alter policy, markets, and geopolitics. Or you can simply wreck trust, which sometimes does more damage. Multiple entry points and dozens of actors multiply risk. That mix creates opportunity, so who shows up to exploit it? Attackers come in many flavors. Nation-states probe infrastructure for influence and leverage. Cybercriminals go after money or headlines. Hacktivists seek publicity for causes, and insiders, sometimes disgruntled contractors, bring dangerous access. Each actor uses different tools, but all count on seams between systems. Next, we map that attack surface so those seams stop looking invisible. Think of the election system as a chain where each link is a target. Voter registration databases, check-in tablets, ballot printers, voting machines, and county networks all sit in line. Even email, radios, and couriers matter for logistics. Break one link and the whole flow slows or becomes suspect. Which links are weakest, and how do attackers exploit them next? Start with voter registration systems. States and counties store names, addresses, and eligibility details. A breach exposes personal data and enables targeted misinformation. Outages can create long lines and provisional ballots. Attackers can harvest details for phishing or freeze systems to disrupt turnout. So what happens when voters show up and the check-in devices don't sync? Electronic pollbooks, or e-pollbooks, are the tablets poll workers use to check in voters. They sync lists, print rosters, and flag eligibility. A misconfigured image or a sync error can cascade across dozens of tablets. One bad update can slow a whole precinct. That single potential failure shows why pre-election testing matters and what can go wrong before voting begins. Ballot design and printing are surprisingly vulnerable. Counties often work with third-party vendors to design, print, and ship ballots. A wrong font, misaligned bubble, or a disrupted supply chain can produce unreadable ballots or delays. Vendors serve many jurisdictions, so one weak link can ripple. How do we stop problems before the ballots leave the printer? Are voting machines online? In most U.S. places, no. The machines themselves don't talk to the internet during voting, but they still touch other systems. Removable USBs, pre-election programming, and vendor maintenance create indirect pathways. Chain of custody, allow listing, and hash checks are practical defenses. So if machines are offline, where do real-world attacks show up? Real-world incidents teach us patterns. Intelligence reports flagged probing and spear phishing of political organizations. Phishing plus leaks hit campaigns in multiple countries. State voter databases have been accessed. DDoS attacks slowed election-related websites, and synthetic audio and video began appearing to sow doubt. These episodes reveal a consistent truth. Attackers target the surroundings more than tabulators. Two patterns follow from that truth. Pattern 1. Technical attacks usually hit the ecosystem around voting machines, campaigns, county IT, websites. Pattern 2. Disinformation multiplies small glitches into major narratives. Quick recap. Elections are complex, and attackers aim at people and process more than raw tabulation. The consequence? Defending an election means defending many small fronts. Ready to dive into the specific risks that do the most damage? The biggest cyber risks are surprisingly mundane. Voter database breaches, e-pollbook outages, ransomware on county networks, supply chain compromises, infected removable media, and disrupted reporting websites top the list. Insiders with access are rare but potent. Each risk looks different, but often requires the same response: layered controls and fast detection. Let's look at voter database compromises first, and why they matter beyond privacy. When a voter database is compromised, personal data leaks and identity risk follow. Attackers can build convincing, targeted messages for phishing and deception. Even if votes themselves remain safe, exposed records enable suppression and manipulation tactics. Database outages also cause logistical snarls at the polls, so the effect is both practical and political. And the fix requires good hygiene and backups. E-pollbook failures can stall check-in lines for hours. Imagine precincts where dozens of tablets fail to sync after a bad software image. Poll workers must switch to backups, manual lists, or provisional ballots. Those workarounds exist, but they cost time and trust. The lesson: redundancy and tested procedures turn a potential disaster into a manageable hiccup. Ransomware on a county network doesn't need to touch a voting machine to cripple an election. Printers, badge systems, and email servers can lock up, stopping ballot delivery and poll worker coordination. Recovery takes time and often legal help. Resilient backups and tested recovery drills turn ransomware from chaos into a solvable incident if officials prepare beforehand. Removable media, the humble USB, is a frequent pathway. Programming media move ballot definition files between systems. If infected, they can carry malware into isolated equipment. Controls like signed media, scanning kiosks, and strict custody reduce that risk. It's a small object with outsized impact, which is why physical controls matter as much as digital ones. Election night reporting websites are a vulnerability for public perception. DDoS or defacement won't alter official tallies, but they can fuel confusion in crucial hours. Insider threats remain rare, yet dangerous when access controls are weak. Both scenarios show how perception and access combine to threaten confidence. That leads directly into the most powerful silent partner: disinformation. Disinformation spreads fast and cheaply. Fake accounts, algorithmic virality, and cheap fakes, edited clips or AI-generated audio, amplify doubt. A prank or a small leak can become a national story before confirmations arrive. Outlets chasing scoops sometimes publish hacked materials without full context. The result: confidence erodes even when tabulation is accurate, so defenses must include communications as well as code. Defending elections means layers, not a single silver bullet. Start with people. Mandatory phishing training, role-based access, background checks, and multi-factor authentication for all privileged accounts. Campaigns need similar hygiene. Clear escalation paths ensure incidents get contained fast. Human processes stop a surprising share of attacks because many start with an email or a misplaced USB. Next, process. Paper ballots or voter-verifiable paper trails enable recounts and audits. Two-person custody, tamper-evident seals, and public logic and accuracy testing build trust. Risk-limiting audits use statistics to confirm outcomes with fewer resources. Publishing procedures, inviting observers, and pre-bunking common glitches also help voters recognize normal operations. So process transparency is a trust multiplier. Finally, technology. Segment networks, use application allow listing, deploy endpoint detection, and maintain patched builds. Enforce removable media controls and practice recovery drills with offline backups. Vendors should provide software bills of materials and rapid reporting rules. Coordination through information sharing groups and federal support fills gaps for smaller jurisdictions. These tech steps shrink the window for attackers and speed recovery when incidents occur, but there's still a role for every voter. If you found this useful, like and subscribe for more explainers, and tell us in the comments if you'd volunteer as a poll worker or want a checklist for Election Day.